Hello. Okay, we are doing Unit 6, Week 2. And this week we have two sounds and two spelling patterns that we are targeting. First, we're doing the long E sound with an E blank E. So long E, consonant in the blank, silent E at the end. We are also doing the long U sound with the long U, consonant in the blank, silent E at the end, U blank E. One more thing we're learning is E by itself at the end of a very short word also says the long E sound. So E by itself also says long E. Okay, here we go. So whenever the E is at the end of a very short word like this, it will have the long E sound. Let's go ahead and sound these out. B, E, B, H, E, he, sh, E, she, E, me, w, E, we, y, E, ye. And let's read them. Be, he, she, me, we, and ye. Most of these are sight words. Most of you already know all of these words because we've had them as sight words on our lists for sight word lists. Okay, so those should be kind of a review for you. All right, next line. E blank E. So long E, consonant in the blank, silent E at the end. Okay, here we go. P, E, Pete, Pete, Pete. E, these, these. E, here, here. E, theme, theme. Here we don't have a beginning consonant. It just starts with the long E. Eve, Eve. St, E, Steve, Steve. Let's read this line. Pete, these, here, theme, Eve, Steve. Notice the capital E for Eve and the capital S for Steve. Remember that proper names of people get capital letters. Okay, here we go. Next line. Now we're doing long U. Long U, a K in the blank, and a silent E at the end. Let's read these words or sound them out. D, U, duke, duke. Luke, Luke. Fluke. Duke, Luke, fluke. Okay, next section has a long U, a B in the blank, and a silent E at the end. T, U, tube. K, U, cube. Tube and cube. And last one here. U, huge. Remember from last week, we learned that GE at the end of a word always has the J and a silent E. Okay, let's read this line. Duke, Luke, fluke, tube, cube, huge. All right, next line. U, cute. Flute. Mute. Cute, flute, mute. Okay, next section. Dune. June. June. tune, tune, tune. Cute, flute, mute, dune, June, tune. Next one. You, mule, mule, mule. You, rule, rule, rule. And we have rule here with an S on the end. Rules, rules, rules. You, dude, dude, dude. You, Jude, Jude, Jude. You, rude, rude, rude. Dude, Jude, rude. Okay. We have use, use, use. You see the base word or the root word use here. Used, used, used. Yesterday I used it. Here's our past tense ending. Using. So it's the same base word as use, but you have to drop the silent E before you add the ing ending. So using, using, using. You, fuse, fuse, fuse. This one has two syllables. Con, fuse. See the root word here, fuse and fuse. Confuse, confuse, confuse. Refuse, refuse, refuse. Okay, so we have use, used, using, fuse, confuse, refuse. And our sight words: house, house, long, long, off, off, small, small. Robot reading: Pete and Luke used these cubes in June. Pete and Luke, Pete and Luke, Pete and Luke used these cubes, used these cubes, used these cubes in June, in June. Pete and Luke, Pete and Luke used these cubes, used these cubes in June, in June. Pete and Luke used these cubes in June. Pete and Luke used these cubes in June. Eve and Steve will play a tune on their flutes. Eve and Steve, Eve and Steve, Eve and Steve will play a tune, a tune, a tune on their flutes, on their flutes, on their flutes. Eve and Steve will play a tune on their flutes, on their flutes. Eve and Steve will play a tune on their flutes. Last time. Eve and Steve will play a tune on their flutes. Excellent work today. Keep practicing. Practice, practice, practice.